Centers here, Ryan Kickle for Glenbrook North, and Danny Brash will do the honors for Loyola. Brash recovering from a shoulder separation. Bodvinik dumped it to the blue line, picked up by the Ramblers, dumped it back into the Glenbrook North end. Liv Schultz ahead for Kickle, underlet him with the pass. Brash. Davis had it briefly, goes into the far side. This is Trey Lutweiler. Lutweiler into the zone, and Wolobin took it away from him. Up ahead for Kickle. Kickle got it out of the zone. Here's Bodvinik. Bodvinik brings it in. Bodvinik's shot ran into the stick of Davis off the side of the net. Kevin Davis. Davis got dumped to the ice, to the far side. Bakai had it briefly. Now picked up by Alex Bodvinik. Bodvinik tried to find it out to the point. Couldn't come up with the puck. Now Bodvinik again, and he was tied up once more. Here's Danny Brash. Brash across the red line. Brash into the zone. Brash looks to center it. Instead dumps it in and then goes off on the line change. On the near side boards, Wolobin. Wolobin up ahead. Picked up by McHugh. McHugh couldn't get it into the zone. Fisher couldn't. To the near side, and now Marut and McHugh got a little entangled. Two Loyola players. Near side, and dumped in by Adam Gustafson. Here's Wolobin back behind the net. Near side, Fisher. Fisher up ahead all the way down into the zone, and that's going to be icing, and it is icing against Glenbrook North. Both teams coming out fired up, but not with a lot of play development yet.
Actually, we have not seen a shot on goal in just the first minute and a half of play, but both teams are trying to get something established, and the first team that does so and gets a good shot on goal may be the first team to get themselves on the scoreboard, as there is no score, but the establishment of getting themselves into sequence to get something going.
On the near side, around to the far side, it's Dwyer. Out to the point, Skoglund with the shot, and that whistled wide to the near side. Marut tried to shovel it ahead. Dwyer picked it away. Shot saved. Rebound, score! I think that was Ed Marut on the rebound. It might have been Dwyer's initial shot that went in.
Yeah, it was Dwyer, it looks like, from my point of view. You know, you got to credit Christensen. He made the initial save. But then Dwyer, who was right out in front, did a great job to stay with it and put the stick right back on the puck and right past Christensen's open pads.
Yeah, it was Dwyer that got it. Dwyer unassisted. Picked it away from the Glenbrook North defenseman. 12-16. Ramblers on top 1-0. There's the drop and the draw to the near side. Brown. Brown dumped it into the zone. Back behind the net. Mike Brown, near side. Up ahead, here's Masurlian. Masurlian by himself. Now Fisher. Fisher in, shoots, save. Pulled free. Brown, whistle, and the dislodged net stops play.
Fisher with the opportunity to make his move. Tried to make a move with the body there and leave the stick out to the far side and hopefully get it past Andy Weeks. But Andy Weeks is an excellent goaltender. You know, the game against Lake Forest he made numerous saves. I believe he had 39 in that game and was very impressive. He's a hard guy to stick that puck past.
Well, we're set for the face-off. And a little offside at the face-off on both sides. Jay Cohn, the linesman, ready to drop it. No. Kicked out McCarthy, and Brown goes in to face off for the Ramblers. Near side, Davis fed it out ahead for Kim, underlet him on the pass. Dave Lifschultz, picked up by Mike Brown, brought it in offside, delay offside on the Ramblers. Cleared to the Rambler blue line, Matt Palmer, far side Davis. Davis up ahead and into the zone by the Ramblers. Kim, Peter Kim, dropped past it for McCarthy. McCarthy dumped it to the corner. Back behind the net, and Wolobin. And Wolobin fed it to the near side. Out to the point and fed out on the breakout. Zare ahead for Romero. Romero and Kevin Davis to the corner. McCarthy, near side, and cleared to center ice. Mark Beeben has it. will set it up for Glenbrook North. Beeman to the far side, into the zone. It'll go in on Weeks. Weeks will direct it to the corner, and then he got knocked down by Aaron Buckeye as the puck went to the corner.
You know, Buckeye was trying to go for the puck and made the initial flop to the ice there, take out the goalie and the net, and maybe scare Andy Weeks a little bit and throw him off, as anything can happen later on. Scare him a little bit.
The defenseman went in too tight, and so they face off, or I take that back because it was the Glenbrook North player that dislodged the net. The faceoff moves out to center ice. There's the drop on the draw, controlled by Glenbrook North into the zone. Matt Palmer. Palmer ahead for Cozen. Cozen tried to get it into the zone. Now picked up by Lutweiler to the far side and out to center ice. Davis dumped back down into the zone, and Beeman knocked it down. Mark Beeman in the corner. Beeman out ahead for Buckeye. Buckeye let it go all the way out to center ice and back down to the Loyola end. Picked up by Davis. Davis with Kickle to the corner. Kickle and Davis centered out to the high slot. Beeman shot to save by Weeks and up onto the netting.
You know, Beeman did a great job to go put it right on the net, and Weeks stuck the glove out, made the initial save, but couldn't grab it all the way in. And this faceoff is going to stay within the zone of Loyola goal. And you got to credit Glenbrook North. They are setting up some opportunities.
Well, if you watch Glenbrook North, they play the same style of hockey. They don't adjust well when teams take them off their regular style of hockey. Back down into the zone. Lutweiler back out to center ice. Picked up by Masurlian. Masurlian into the zone. Masurlian tried to feed it for Breen. And now Breen and McHugh picked away right to Marut in the slot. Up ahead for Gustafson. Adam Gustafson across the red line into the zone with Dwyer the trailer as they went to the corner. And they push it along, play a little game of push and shove in the corner, and they freeze it there. A lot of action when you consider we played just about 4 minutes, and only 4 minutes here to this first period.
Both teams trying to get something set up within their own playing abilities. And, you're starting to see what they can do. And like you mentioned, Glenbrook North staying, basically in their similar plan. They do similar things out there. But Loyola Gold is really trying to get, straight at Glenbrook North, try to take it in there, set something up in front if they can get it done.
Something I was thinking about with that Glenbrook North, and that is the fact that they've had so much success winning, doing it their way, that when they fall behind, I don't know that they necessarily can. There's a shot, second shot, third shot, pulled out of the air. But sensational save spurt by Dave Christensen.
Rich McHugh, he's sitting there looking like, how the heck did Christensen make those saves? He's looking around. Did it go in? He's looking to see if it's on the scoreboard as a goal. Get credit Christensen to stay with the puck.
Dave Christensen with a 3-save spurt there. Christensen was named All-State defenseman, one of the three All-State goalies, one of the three named. Here we're set for that face-off now on the far side. Bergeron and McCarthy. McCarthy won the draw, but Romero came up with the puck up ahead for Zaire. Kim had it instead. Down he went. Now Peter Kim has it again. Kim bumped. Now here's Bergeron. Eric Bergeron tried to feed it out ahead and now picked up by Davis. Davis off the near side boards for Kim. Kim turns around and then Zaire has it. Alan Zaire clears it back to the Loyola end of the ice. Trip Bobby back to Beeman. Picked up by Brown off a leg. Kim. Davis up for Kim. Kim fed it out to center ice. And McCarthy. McCarthy tried to find Brown. The puck dribbles over to the far corner. Zaire has it there. Alan Zaire up the ice. Zaire backhands it into the zone. I think he's supposed to go off on a line change, and he doesn't know it. Near side. Davis to Kim. Peter Kim fed it to the far side. And the Loyola Ramblers are making a line change. Now into the zone. Cozen tried to sweep through. Danny Brash. Near side, Ryan Kickle. Kickle knocked down by Brash, and Brash will go and sit 2 for tripping.
First penalty they called of the game, and Kickle getting tripped up. The Spartans will get the first opportunity on the power play and get a chance to see if they can get a goal off Weeks and get on the board here. 8:26 to go, first period.
Loyola penalty, Danny Brash reminded for tripping at 8:26 of the period. And the Breen dribbles it to the slot and cleared out of there by Andy Skoglund. John Breen will set up the breakout for the Ramblers on the, for the Spartans on their power play. Up ahead, here comes Fisher. Max Fisher into the zone. Back behind the goal line, near side. Out to the point, John Breen. Breen cranks. Oh, deflected wide. I think Skoglund actually deflected it wide of the net. Woloban. Matt Woloban takes the shot and boomed it wide. Far side, John Breen out at the point. Breen sets it up and whistle. And we got coincidental penalties coming up here on Gustafson and Kickle for, I would guess, roughing or high sticking. We'll see what the penalty is. Something odd in the slot. He had seen enough of the pushing and shoving that was going on. Ryan Kickle and Adam Gustafson.
Yeah, it's funny how those players just tend to do that. It doesn't matter who it is or what game it is. Anybody sitting in front of that slot area, it's like that defenseman does not want to let that winger or that centerman, be placed, actually just sitting right there in front. So they kind of push around, shove around, and before you know it, the referee doesn't like enough of it. They start calling the penalty.
Well, I don't think it was really the pushing and shoving. I think it was the sticks up in the chest and the face areas that finally told them to whistle it down. Coincidental minors. The face-off coming up still stays inside the Ramblers' end. They're calling it slicing. He always called that slicing. It's slashing is the penalty. Their side, here comes Davis. Davis dumps it into the zone. Back behind the net, over to the far side. Woloban out ahead for McCarthy, and McCarthy tried to dump it into the zone, ran it into Bodvinik. Bodvinik around the first man, can't get around, trip Bobby, back out to center ice, picked up by Matt Woloban. Woloban to the near side, Bakai. Aaron Bakai out at the point. Bakai cranks it a little bit, shot saved by Weeks with the stick. Far side, Woloban. Matt Woloban trying to set it up right in tight for Bakai. And now back behind the net, picked up by Kevin Davis, and he'll clear. 30 seconds left on the Rambler minor. And Mark Beeben. Beeben brings it up the ice. Mark Beeben crosses the red line, cranks, the save by Weeks. Skoglund, and Skoglund clears off Beeben. Near side, Cozen. Cozen shot, the save by Christensen. To the near side, Cozen and Beeben. They push it along, and now the whistle as the penalty ends.
Yeah, both teams are getting some good shots on. Not close range, but, with inside the blue line. And these aren't some easy shots. Too bad we don't have some sort of clock on them because they're coming in pretty hard and pretty quick for both goaltenders.
Well, the one thing about both these teams, they're not doing a lot of play development. They're slow to the play development, but they're taking some good shots out high. They've got to move that if they can get those same types of shots in tighter. We could have a very interesting hockey game, and we'll get some pucks into the net. Out to the red line. Now John Dwyer. Dwyer dumps it into the zone. Dave Lifschultz. Lifschultz got bumped down by Maroon. Now there's a shot by McHugh, ran into traffic out front. Turned around by Dwyer, and that's just wide. Picked up by John Breen. Breen to the far side, Masurlian. Out for Davis, the cranker. The pad save by Christensen. The cue, Masurlian brings it out of the zone. Masurlian over to the center, and Breen drop pass it for Fisher. Fisher oversticked it. Near side, Fisher again has it, and Fisher pushed down by Dwyer in the corner. It's John Dwyer to the side of the net, far side, picked up by Breen. John Breen's turnaround shot knocked down by Davis. Didn't have much on that shot. Kevin Davis brings it into the zone offside against the Ramblers.
A little pushing on after the whistle, but no penalties will be called.
5:30 to play here in the first period. 1-0 in favor of the Ramblers on the goal by John Dwyer. We want to let everybody down the network line know that we have another game. We've managed to get another game. Once more, we'll be down at the stadium for the North-South All-Star game. That's our next game down the network line. Into the corner. Wrapped around to the far side, out to the point. Held in by Brash. Brash tried to find Lutweiler, busted up, and cleared out the center ice. To the near side, Kozin. And now picked up by Gustafson in the corner. In the Ramblers' end. Gustafson to the far side. Out to the point, held in by Kaluzna. Dave Kaluzna fed it deep, picked up by Danny Brash. Brash brings it to the near side. Danny Brash sets it up. Danny Brash up ahead for Trey Lutweiler. Lutweiler into the zone. Lutweiler, nice move. Lutweiler looks for the second one, and then right into Christensen.
You know, this is going to be very interesting because Christensen, you mentioned, hurt his collarbone, and he got tumbled on that shoulder area, the neck area. This could be very serious.
4:43 to play in a period. I think, though, from what I heard, from the way it was described to me, he got injured on the right shoulder, and I think this time he actually got the post on the left shoulder. But Dave Christensen is down and hurt.
You know, you kind of wonder if that should be a penalty, the way he came in, headstrong, of course, out of control, right at the goalie in that situation. But it kind of looks like the same situation we had the other way a little bit earlier when Weeks got tumbled over earlier in the game, about 5-6 minutes earlier on.
No, I think in that case, he was actually, a stick got in there and he tumbled over the stick. 4:43 to play here in the period. I think that Lutweiler tumbled over the stick. 4:43 to play here in the period, ready for the face-off as soon as they restore the net to its proper location. You're watching high school hockey on the Metro Chicago Sports Network, the quarterfinals of tonight's action. All the way down our network line, we hope you've enjoyed our season. But, boy, we got a long way to go yet in the season. Well, all the way down, although we can't say we have the state games, we have the All-Star game coming in tonight. So that'll be an interesting game. And then, of course, we have other games, too, down our network, including the Chicago Showcase. We'll have a couple of those games on our network line as well. 4:43 to play here in the period. And the junior varsity game for some of our stations as well. That'll also be on our network. The junior varsity championship game.
Exciting hockey on the Metro Sports Network.
Rusty Silver doing the color tonight with us. A rare treat for me. A quick shot off the face-off, near side. Out to the point, held in by Davis. Beeman, now the shot by Dwyer and the save by Christensen. He grabbed it out of the air and held on.
Yeah, it's getting kind of interesting out there on the ice, considering we've only played not only 10 minutes, and you're starting to see a little bit of talking going on between the players or amongst the players and trying to say, listen, we're the better team. No, we're better. And everybody wants to get the position on the puck. It might get more interesting as we get towards the second and third periods.
On the near side, well, I'm sure these two teams have created an interesting rivalry over this year, and it's going to play out tonight. Zaire, he went down on his own in front of Trip Bobby, and I think the North players, the North fans, thought that should have been a penalty. Right into the slot, shot saved, grabbed and held on. Ryan Kickle diving in, and then Weeks already had it under his pads. And Kevin Davis made sure that Kickle stayed down and off the goalie.
You know, Kickle had an initial shot there, and it almost looked like it hit the post before Weeks had to put a glove on it there, and very close catching him on that far side there.
It's a very shallow angle shot that Kickle took. 4:01 to play in the period. We're in the first period of tonight's action here on the Metro Chicago Sports Network. As we said, what's the important thing about this game is the way that the whole thing plays out. On the near side, that is Wallabin. Wallabin now picked up by Bobby. Bobby fed it out ahead for Kim. The Dave Lifschultz. Lifschultz and dumped back in by McCarthy offside. And the whistle blows as the puck goes in on the goalie. No, that wouldn't be a goal if it went in because it is the offsides prevents the goal being called. 3:48 to play now. Here in the first period, just underway. Quarterfinals of the state between the Loyola Gold and Glenbrook North. Zaire. Alan Zaire dumps it into the zone. Weeks with the save. Davis to the far side, up for Mike Brown. Mike Brown sets it up. Brown ahead for McCarthy, and it kind of caught up in his skates, a little bit underlay with the pass. Here's Brandon McCarthy, dumped it into the zone. The save by Christensen on the long shot. Lifschultz to the far side. Romero out to the point, tripped Bobby. Deflection just wide. Mike Brown, I don't think that would have been a goal. I think that would have been batted in with a high stick. Well, have been out and cleared. McCarthy flipped it into the zone and then goes off on the line change, but they'll call it icing. He hadn't crossed the red line. Icing against the Ramblers.
Yeah, that was a very interesting type of play there when Brown stuck the stick on it, and anything's possible if you can get a good stick on, as long as you don't raise it too high where it's going to be a high stick, though.
But you see the puck can't be hit with a stick above the shoulders, and that was very close to being above the shoulders. And I think that the referee here tonight would have blown that, called it no goal, stick above the shoulder. We're set for the face-off. Back to the Ramblers. Cleared out to the point, held in by Beeman. Near side. McHugh picked away. Back into the Ramblers' end, picked up by Skoglund. Skoglund to the near side. The Surlian. Beeman has lost his stick, broke his stick. The Surlian to the far side. That's Skoglund. And we dump it into the Glenbrook North bench, and the whistle stops play.
Beeman ran into a problem. He ran into a Rambler and then broke his stick, but then he's trying to play defense without his stick, and that's not a safe thing to do, considering someone could skate right past you, and unless you want to take him down there and draw a penalty. Best thing to do would probably get over to that bench as fast as you can to grab that stick.
No, not from the near side defense. If you're over on that far side, you might want to do it, but not on the near side defense. Over on that far side, picked up by John Masurlian. Masurlian with Skoglund. Dwyer tries to pull it free, and now took too long, and the whistle stops play again. 2:25 to play here in the period. I would say the crowd is about evenly divided between the North and the Loyola fans, with a good mixture of just interested hockey fans thrown in for good measure here tonight. Skoglund near side, out to the slot, up ahead, underled Dwyer with the pass. Matt Stock will go with Dwyer to the corner in the Glenbrook North end. Dwyer pushes near side, out to Gustafson. He cranks, just wide. It looked like about a foot or so wide to the outside. Now there's the shot in, busted up by Beeman. And then got bumped off, and then another one on Fisher by Lutweiler. John Dwyer, Loyola. Dwyer fanned on the pass, but got it to Gustafson anyway. Gustafson into the zone, dropped past it, brought to the near side. Back into the zone, Aaron Bakai. Bakai with Skoglin. Bakai centered it, nobody there. As Glenbrook North was completing a line change. Lutweiler out ahead for Fisher. Fisher dumps it into the zone. Deflected, no icing. Near side, Bodvinik held it in the zone. Alex Bodvinik tried to center it. Somebody else has lost their stick. Gustafson. Near side, Trey Lutweiler. Lutweiler dumps it in, and that is icing against Loyola.
Yeah, both teams are starting to get in the clean shots upon each other, and a little like we were mentioning, or at least me earlier saying that the rivalry is starting to come into play. So they try to take one of them out, try to set an advantage situation for either team, maybe on one side of the ice or the other.
I can remember a couple of players, they used to say that what they'd like to do is go out there early on and just hit somebody hard to kind of say, hey, stay away from me or I'm going to hurt you. And I think there's a little of that going on here tonight. Ryan Kickle to the near side. Loyola's usually the much more physical team here. Cleared out to center ice. Far side, Kaluzna dumped it into the zone, picked up by Kevin Davis. Near side, Matt Palmer. Palmer will feed it back to the far side in Davis, and he'll try and set the breakout. Out and cleared and dumped back in by Kaluzna, but it's offside against Glenbrook North, and it'll go all the way down. We got a penalty coming up on Alan Zaire for high sticking deep in that corner. Alan Zaire, a minor for high sticking on Glenbrook North. He gave a crack over there to, I'm not sure if it was Davis or Palmer, but one of the defensemen back behind the play. And Alan Zaire will go and sit too.
Tried to feed a little extra after the whistle, and you can't do that. Anything after the whistles, these referees will catch up with it right away, and all you're going to do is sit in the box and cool down for a couple of minutes.
I'm getting old enough. I actually started this referee in hockey about 1975. Up to the point. Skoglin the shot, pulled out of the air. And some more extracurricular activities after the play. Little push thrown in there. 42 seconds now left to play here in the period.
Christensen has made 10 saves to this point, and he's done a real good job. If it means falling back on his back, getting tossed over, he stayed with the puck.
Unofficial 10. Let me say that. That's your count 10. That may not be the count that's being taken as the official count.
I'm pretty accurate.
We'll see.
I got my calculator over here.
Pulled away by the Ramblers. Danny Brash to the far side. Out to the point. Skoglin. Back behind the goal line. Brash to Lutweiler. Lutweiler dropped past it for Brash. Brash to the near side. Gustafson at the point, and he shot it way wide. Brash out for Skoglin. Flicked out to center ice, John Breen. Breen with Masurlian. Masurlian into the zone. Picked away by Skoglin to the far side, Lutweiler. Lutweiler, and the horn sounds ending the period. At the end of the first period of play here on the Metro Chicago Sports Network, the score is the Loyola Ramblers 1 and the Glenbrook North Spartans 0. We'll be back with the second period in just a moment. In the state quarterfinals, on the far side, Marut and Lifschultz. Marut brought it in the zone offside. And then after the play, Bakai bumps. A little out of control. Rusty, should I mention the fact that the coach from Loyola played on Glenbrook North?
That really
I
makes
just did.
And then you got a bunch of looks from the crowd at the same time.
There's side John Dwyer. Popular knowledge anyway. Underneath Skoglin. Gustafson got a penalty coming up on Skoglin, knocking down Bakai as Bakai tried to sneak by.
Now Bakai had a great opportunity for a breakaway and go for the shorthanded goal, but he just got pulled from behind, and that's going to be 2 minutes in the penalty box.
Loyola penalty is to Skoglin for interference at 13:40.
Go North. Kenny, come on, John.
So now we're going to be back on a 4-on-4 situation. It leads back to semi-equal strength with one man short in each club.
Equal strength on the ice, but the Zare penalty will end first here. Back behind the net over to the near side. Lutweiler out ahead. Here's McHugh. Rich McHugh. McHugh tried to get by Breen. Now picked up by Masurlian. Masurlian to the far side. And Fisher busted up by McHugh. Rich McHugh tries to turn the other way. McHugh into the zone. McHugh cranked. And Masurlian got in the way of it. McHugh back around to the far side. Picked up by Fisher. Fisher back behind the goal. Ran off Dave Labuda, the referee. And now Fisher to Wolleben. Matt Wolleben into the zone. Wolleben dropped past it. John Breen. Breen back to the blue line. Breen circles around a little bit. John Breen. Dwyer took the man instead of the puck. He might have had a breakaway had he taken the puck. Near side, and Masurlian, the Zare minor, now over, and the Glenbrook North Spartans with the man advantage. John Breen into the zone. Breen sets it up. Breen to the near side. Zare. They've got Breen, the leading scorer in Metro North, out at the point tonight. Far side, picked up by Bodvinik. Zare. Near side, Bakai. He had been centering that line, a line of Fisher, Breen, and Masurlian had been the line, but they had Breen out at the near point. Now Bodvinik over to the far side. The cranker knocked out in front, and then it dribbled back to Weeks. And then Zare in again on Weeks, but Weeks had the puck and the stick of Alan Zare and ended up getting pulled back behind his own net.
Looked like he was taking for a little bit of a ride behind the net while laying on his stomach there at the same time. You know, give a little credit to Glenbrook North on this power play. They've taken their time to set something up in front. They've worked it around up on top, and then Breen looked like he was going to take a slap shot, sent it back down in the corners. They worked it to the front.
That wasn't Breen, that was Bodvinik.
But they couldn't get themselves up in front to get a real good shot, but they are being patient and not forcing the issue.
Out to the point, and like field goal right between the two defensemen. Dump back to the blue line by Stock. Bakai to the near side. Bodvinik offside. Bodvinik got into the zone before the puck did. And just 4 seconds left on the minor. And we'll take the face-off out about 5 feet or so shy of the red line, where the Aaron Bakai dumped it into the zone for the offside. On that far side, Alex Bodvinik backhands it into the zone. Teams are back to full and equal strength. Picked up by Kevin Davis. Davis for Loyola brings it to the near side. Stock took the shot and made it to the goalie, Weekly. Weekly made the save on the Weekly shot. No, that's not right. Weeks made the save on the weak shot in the corner. There's the cranker pulled out of the air by Weeks. And I think we got another penalty coming up.
Give a lot of credit. Stock really put a lot of stock on that one if you're putting this into play the way you are in the last minute. But I'll tell you one thing, it wasn't a weak shot either, because Week made a nice glove save going over the top of his head there to grab that in.
We've got a penalty coming up to Kevin Davis, it appears, for I thought I saw a signal for spearing. I thought. Yes, Yes, I was right. Kevin Davis, a minor for spearing with the automatic 10-minute misconduct. And Kevin Davis, the defenseman, will sit for 12. Kevin Davis, a minor for spearing with the automatic 10-minute misconduct at 11:14 here in the second period.
That is a crucial penalty.
Particularly when it's a defenseman. Dumped and cleared.
Let's see
John Breen sets it up. for Glenbrook North. Gave it to Max Fisher, who will bring it up the ice. Fisher with Bakai and McHugh. There's a shot just high and wide by Fisher. Near side and cleared by John Dwyer. John Breen sets it up back behind the net. Breen will take it to the far side on the breakout. Breen skates it up the ice. John Breen tried to center it. Now Masurlian and Gustafson to the corner. And we got a penalty coming up for holding.
A very obvious holding the stick and keeping away from the puck.
I believe.
That's the second time he's going to be caught with a penalty again.
Penalty on Gustafson and the two-man advantage for Glenbrook North. A two-man advantage for Glenbrook North. 10:23 to play in the period. And Adam Gustafson will sit for two.
Yeah, it's kind of amazing. Loyola is leading in the game, and you wouldn't think so by looking at what's going on the ice here in the last few minutes, because you see a lot of frustration coming out of Loyola because they're not getting themselves into their playing ability like they're used to playing.
I think what's going on is that they're being too aggressive and too pumped up in that slot. Both these things have happened in deep by the defenseman, and that's what's going on. On that far side, out to the point. Breen to the near side, Wolleben. Wolleben sets it up to the far side. Breen. John Breen at the point. Breen brings it to the near side. Wolleben overled him with the pass deep for Bobby, and the referee was in the way a little bit. Fisher out for Wolleben and cleared to center ice. Here's McHugh. McHugh with Breen. McHugh and Breen will go to the corner. No, McHugh peeled off as one of the three players from Loyola didn't want to get in too deep. Picked up by Wolleben. Wolleben, the defenseman, into the corner with it. Wolleben sets up looking for the back door. Flipped out to the high slot. Fisher to the far side. Breen cranks the save by Weeks, and he holds on. And then some pushing and shoving with Kickle in there, and then Andy Skoglund comes in to push. And I'll tell you something, that was not a smart move on Skoglund's part, because you'll end up getting a minor on that, and you already got two of your defensemen sitting in the penalty box.
I was going to say, Weeks, you cannot really put the puck right on him. You have to get him away from him to get the puck into net. He is so good at stopping those point-blank shots. I remember earlier in the week against Lake Forest, anything that was right at him, he stopped. You got to get it in the open part of the net. And then, of course, on any goaltender, it seems like the goaltenders know on any point in the net except for maybe those high corners.
To the near side, Wolleben fanned on the puck, and Lutweiler directed it to the corner. Out to Wolleben again at the point. Matt Wolleben cranks. Still some silliness in the slot. Grabbed and held on by Weeks on the long shot from the point. And two places with some silliness going on. The ref looks at both of them and doesn't call it. 9:24 to play here in the period.
Weeks has been busy. He's saved 9 shots already.
Well, also Glenbrook North's got this two-man advantage, and they've certainly been working to play very well inside the zone. Ready for the face-off. It'll take place inside the Loyola end following the save by Weeks. Wolleben on his off shot. Wolleben turns now, cranks it to the near side. Underled the pass first, Miners over. And back to Beeben, and cleared into the Loyola bench by Mark Beeben.
I cannot understand why a hockey player does not use his stick. He tries to use his skate. It's almost like you're playing a different sport on the ice. Use the stick. That's what you got it for. He tried to use his skate. I think it was Bakai was the one out in front, tried to use his skate instead of his stick.
He was underled with the pass, and so from Wolleben, so he had to stop the puck, and he did it with his skates because the pass was just not on target. Now the face-off is controlled by Glenbrook North to the high slot, held in by McCarthy. The save by Christensen to the corner. John Masurlian brings it up the ice. Here's John Masurlian. Masurlian into the zone. Masurlian, Palmer off the boards. Dribbles out to the high slot. Breen brought to the near side. Out Stock held it in the zone at the point. To the far point, and Breen, the cranker, and that boomed wide. Near side Fisher. And the whistle. And coincidental penalties coming up, I believe. Palmer and Masurlian.
Yeah, they were doing some pushing up in front after the shot had gone through the crease area out to the boards. They pushed each other. Referees are not going to accept this, and they're going to put them both in the box.
10 seconds of power play left, and the coincidental minors, Masurlian and Palmer, each for roughing, I believe. 8:13 to play here in the period. And the faceoff coming up inside the Loyola end. And a little extra discussion before we're ready to drop the puck. A pair of 27s, Kickle and McCarthy. McCarthy for Loyola, Kickle for Glenbrook North. And the puck sort of sits at the faceoff circle. Picked up by Brandon McCarthy, who clears. Dumped into the zone. Here's Lifschultz. Dave Lifschultz. As the Miners now over, teams are back at equal strength. Near side and Stock. Near side, Fisher. Fisher dumped it into the zone. The save, near side, Skoglund. Skoglund wrapped it around to the far side. Out for Lifschultz. Dumped into the zone. Flicked around a little bit. Now dumped in deep by Brash. In his own zone. Over to the far side, McCarthy. McCarthy out ahead and flipped out to center ice by Lutweiler. Lutweiler looking for Brown. Stocked. Now back in comes Aaron Bakai. Back out to center ice. Back into the zone. Now picked up by Skoglund. Near side Stock. Dumped to the far side. Romero dribbles out to center ice. Brash up ahead for Brown. But he was going off on a line change. Dumped into the zone. Dwyer. Romero near side. Brash deep to the corner. Romero out to the point. Tripped Bobby. The shot pulled out of the air by Christensen. On the high shot, it would have gone over the net. But Christensen stopping Loyola from establishing the play.
Yeah, they had McHugh sitting right up in the slot about 10 feet out and up in front of the net. And apparently Loyola did not catch that. If they would have, they would have had a better shot on goal than having Bobby send it from just inside the blue line on goal.
Face-off coming up right down here in front of us. 7:14 to play here in the period. Near side, Skoglund. There's the shot off Wolleben off the side of the net. McHugh now on the near side. Bodvinik tried the blindside pass. Now here's McHugh with a shot way wide. Far side Fisher out to center ice. And now Skoglund. Skoglund gave it up to Bodvinik. Bodvinik shot. Oh, just wide. Near side. Out to Kaluzna. His shot off Skoglund to the far side corner. Bodvinik for Glenbrook North. Picked up by Fisher. Max Fisher. Out to the point and cleared to center ice. That goes Wolleben with Marut. John Dwyer. Dwyer with Breen to the corner. Center for Marut. Couldn't get the shot away. Tried to set up the puck. And cleared. Is that going to be icing? No. It was washed off anyway. Skoglund blind passed it to the near side. Gustafson. Up ahead Dwyer. Flicked it into the zone. Wolleben to the far side. Up for Kickle. Kickle ahead for Bakai. Bakai to Kaluzna. Kaluzna's shot ran into a leg out front. Back behind the Loyola net. Glenbrook North controls. Kaluzna's shot ran into a leg out front. Near side, here's Brash, Danny Brash. Out to Kaluzna at the point again. His shot, they save by Weeks. Zaire to the far side. Gustafson with Bakai. And Kickle joins him over there. And they'll try and freeze it. Picked away by Kozin. Now Dwyer tried to get it out of the zone. Picked up by Bakai. Skoglund wraps it around and clears it. That will be icing. And it is icing against Loyola. While we have this break, we'll take this time out. This is the Metro Chicago Sports Network. We'll be back with more action in just a moment. To the live action, we've got a penalty coming up on Glenbrook North right off the face-off for cross-checking. Glenbrook North penalty for cross-checking coming up on Romero. Jason Romero, a minor. Oh, take that back. It's Eric Bergeron with the cross-check at 5:18 of the period. Eric Bergeron, a minor for cross-checking at 5:18. And the face-off coming up over on that far side. You're watching high school hockey on the Metro Chicago Sports Network, the quarterfinals of state between Glenbrook North and Loyola. And they have certainly had an interesting season between these two. They certainly have played now equal hockey all the way around, back around behind the net. Far side, now the cranker by Breen, ran into a leg out front. Cozen to the near side. Into the zone comes Lutweiler. Lutweiler centered it, shot. Oh! Brash couldn't get the shot away. Nice job by the defense of Glenbrook North. Gustafson to Lutweiler. Back for Brash. Brash back to Lutweiler. Lutweiler centered right through the slot. Cozen was free there. Couldn't get the puck for the deflection in. Picked up by Andy Skoglund. Skoglund to the near side. Underlet on the pass to Lutweiler. Lutweiler got it into the zone with Cozen. And now back out to center ice, Danny Brash. Brash to the far side and Adam Gustafson. Gustafson dumps it into the zone. Mark Beeben will chase it down back behind the net. Beeben brought it to the near side. And the shot by Skoglund was high and wide. Beeben out to the point. Gustafson. Here's Masolian on the breakaway. Skoglund comes back. Masolian tried to turn the corner. Couldn't do so. Brought to the near side. And here's Loyola coming back the other way. Loyola with the man advantage. Into the zone, Lutweiler. Lutweiler shot, ran into a hand of Beeben to the near side corner. Out to the point, held in by Skoglund. Skoglund shot from the point is wide. Dwyer. Now Rich McHugh. Dwyer again, out to the point, and Gustafson on the far point. McHugh. Rich McHugh cranks and ran into a leg of Kickle. They got a penalty coming up for tripping on Kickle, I believe. Make it a high stick. Could be a Loyola high stick. No. High stick on...
Looks like it's on Beeben.
Mark Beeben.
There was some...
So now the Ramblers will have the two-man advantage. Yep. Mark Beeben, a minor for high sticking at 3:32. I didn't see that high stick.
Well, Beeben and McHugh were going at it in front of the net, pushing each other, and then eventually threw a stick up in the air, and referee caught it just as Kickle went down. At that point, the referee said, I'm going to catch you with the high stick and put him in the box for two.
I thought it was a trip on Kickle that he was going to call. Questionable call, but that's when he raised his hand when he did the whistle. That's what I thought he was going to do. Near side out to the slot. There's the cranker by Skoglund, was just high and wide. Skoglund keeps it in the zone. Skoglund finished to the far side. Rich McHugh. McHugh back to the near side. Skoglund at the point. Hits cranker. The save into the slot. Dribbles free. All the way down into the zone. And cleared ahead Skoglund. Zer was going for the puck, but it wouldn't have mattered. It would have been whistled down as an offside anyway. Had he touched it and come up with it on the breakaway. Near side. Brought into the zone. Willeben. Dwyer. Skoglund. Willeben was a little slow getting up. Right through the slot. Backdoor. Shot saved. And held on by Christensen. And then some pushing and shoving after the play.
Yeah, credit.
And there's probably be more silliness. More of a silliness than actually anything as far as penalty. I don't even think he'll call that penalty.
You know, credit Christensen. He got his left skate on the putt just to make that save. And that was so close to trickle into the net. That skate was just right there to make the save, and then he fell on top of it.
Well, the one failing that I see this year is too many players setting up the puck. I think in that case, that was again, he touched the puck, then brought the stick back, then took the shot. Setting up the puck. You take the shot right when you get the puck on the stick with a little snapper, and you have a much better opportunity of catching the goalie, particularly sliding in that situation on the back door. 2:46 to play. I mean, that's just that one. I'm not faulting anybody. I'm just saying that's a general pattern that happens in high school hockey in Illinois. Wellman on that far side. Wellman, Brash, and Kozin. And they still push it free now. Picked up by the Ramblers. Near side, Lutweiler. Back out to Trip Bobby. Bobby dumped it back into the zone. And Trey Lutweiler. Lutweiler in the corner. Lutweiler, deep give and go play. Near side, Bobby. There's the shot, deflects wide. Palmer. Woloban. Matt Woloban brings it around to the near side. And no, they still didn't get it out. Now picked up by Brash. Brash couldn't get the shot away, near side. Cleared out to center ice and picked up by Matt Palmer. Palmer sent it to the far side. Kozin, he went into the zone but left the puck at the blue line. Back down into the Rambler end. Down to 1:50 left to play here in the second period. Trey Lutweiler. Lutweiler brings it up the ice. Lutweiler into the zone. Cranks. The save by Christensen on a great shot and a great save.
Next one, a shot by Lutweiler. And Christensen comes up with a nice save. Something I've just noticed in the penalty box, Beeman has his gloves off and he's holding his right wrist or right hand in pain. And I don't know if it's the trainer or the coach over there, Miller, attending to him while he was in there. He was turned around and they were looking at his hand there. And just by the way he's holding it there, I don't know if we're going to see if he's going to see action anymore in this game.
We'll see. Lots of times they do that. That may have been what caused that high stick, was that he got cracked himself and he retaliated. Near side, Skoglund. The shot ran into a stick out front. Masurlian. The penalty's over. Dwyer. Near side. Dwyer into the zone. Dwyer on his off wing. Dwyer will go to the corner with Lifschultz. Ran it right into the referee, Labuda. Underneath Gustafson into the zone. Here's Masurlian. Masurlian in the corner tried to center it. Missed the puck. Now in brain shot just wide. Near side, here's Dwyer. Dwyer out to the far side. McHugh. McHugh ahead for Marut. Marut on the breakaway. Marut in, shot and score!
You don't ever want to leave someone open on a breakaway. It's just Marut in that situation going against Christensen. Wide open chance to go either way. Marut caught him on the opposite side in which Christensen was going and got the goal.
Ed Marut in on the breakaway, puts it home as he took a hold of that puck and just got the breakaway and shoveled it home. Now we have a face-off coming up following the goal. On the far side, Wellman brought it in offside. Glenbrook North offside.
Yeah, it's one of these odd situations, I think, for Glenbrook North. They're going to have to really regroup after the second period to come back, being 2 goals down. I don't think that's what Glenbrook North wanted to be in this game. You want to stay close and don't fall behind by too much, because it's tough to come back as you get down to these tougher opponents.
Brown to the far side. Wallabin underneath him. Over on the far side. Here's Peter Kim. Kim tried to center it. Knocked away by Kaluzna. Near side back behind the net now. And that's Matt Wallabin. Wallabin to the near side. And McCarthy cranked it wide from the high slot. Bodvinik off the leg out at center ice. Picked up by Mike Brown. Mike Brown with just about 15 seconds or so left to play here in the second period. Kaluzna near side, Bakai. Aaron Bakai sets it up for Glenbrook North into the zone. Offside. I think Bodvinik was actually the one that was offside over on that right wing.
Loyola has come through with opportunities on Dwyer's rebound in the first period, and then Marut breaking away free from about the blue line in and getting that nice shot away, beating Christensen. These are opportunities to get knocking, and Loyola's taking advantage of these situations. And Glenbrook North, when they've had their opportunities, Andy Weeks has stepped up to stop any potential goals.
Here's Kaluzna, dumped it into the zone. On the far side, Gustafson. Gustafson ran it right into the Glenbrook North bench as the horn sounds and in the period. At the end of the second period of play, here on the Metro Chicago Sports Network, the score is the Loyola Ramblers 2 and the Glenbrook North Spartans nothing. This is the Metro Chicago Sports Network. We'll be back. Had been Breen, Maserlian, and Fisher, and that's the line he started off with, putting back out there on the ice to start the third period for Glenbrook North. Ed Marut centered it out to the point. There's Skogland's shot, ran into traffic. John Dwyer, Ed Marut. Marut centered. There's a shot. Oh, just wide by McHugh. Up the slot. Near side and all the way down. That's going to be icing, and it is icing against Glenbrook North. What's an added little piece to this too, Rusty, is that Bob Miller, the head coach of Glenbrook North, has already announced that this is his last year and he is going to retire. And I'm sure the players are looking to try and have him retire on a high note of winning the state championship.
Oh, I'm sure they would, and it's any present to be given to a coach when they retire. Take him as far as you can, and I'm sure he'll be really happy, for all the years that he's done plenty of things for this Glenbrook North club. And I'll take a gift. I'm sure he would the same way with a state championship.
This is Bob's 8th year. He's the grand old man, as we call it, of the Metro North coaches. Taking that honor from Gary Bryan from Barrington, who retired last year. Offside against North, and a check thrown on the end. Heavy check thrown on the end.
Well, it looked like Lutwiller kind of lost his, Lutwiller just kind of lost his skates there and actually just slipped and fell right into the boards along with one of the Glenbrook North players. And, fresh ice out here and hard to control yourself and stop on it until it settles in.
Face-off is controlled by the Ramblers. Here's Trey Lutweiler. Lutweiler dumped it into the zone, deep to the corner. Brash and Stock and Kozin, and picked away by Glenbrook North. And Lutweiler limping badly off the ice. I don't know what happened to him. Near side, here's Wolleben. The shot, the save by Weeks, and he grabs and holds on. And Lutweiler in considerable pain sitting on the bench. He got something on his leg or knee. I would tend to say he probably got, he didn't get a shot on it. I think he got a stick on it. Somebody took a slash maybe at him.
Well, Breen took him out on the boards over on this on the side of Glenbrook North, took him along the boards, and he just got cracked right into it. And might have been his knee or whatever. He's hurting in a lot of pain over there.
Ankle. It must have gone in ankle, maybe ankle first. That's what it looks like. He's trying to walk it off.
Those boards do not give way much to people that come in there with hard checks. Glass might, but boards,
Face-off is controlled by Glenbrook North. Out at the point. Stock shot off the base of the net to the outside. Picked up by Tripp. Bobby. Bobby tried to feed it ahead. Now Bobby has it again. Now brought to the near side. Here's Kevin Davis on following that misconduct. I think, is this his first shift back? No, can't be. Brown fed it ahead. Romero. Brown. McCarthy dumped it in. Christensen with the save. Liv Schultz, far side. Romero cleared it out to center ice. Back goes Kevin Davis. Davis on the near side. Peter Kim. Swiped at by Romero. Brought into the zone by Fisher. Into the slot. Picked up by Tripp Bobby. Bobby to the near side. And they battle for it along the near side. Now Lifschultz with the shot. Grabbed and held on the high shot by Dave Lifschultz from the point. Well, I don't know. It seems to me, are you seeing kind of a lessening now? Like maybe a little steam running out? Some of the intensity?
I think that
there's the shot. right through the slot, far side, Dwyer. We'll see. I'll get your comments on the next whistle. Kaluzna into the zone. Here's Skoglund. Ran right into Breen. Now Fisher. Left it for Breen, and his shot, wrist shot, whistled wide and tight. Shot saved. Rebound, still free. Still free. Down everybody goes right through the slot, near side. Here's McHugh out to center ice. Dumped back in by Kaluzna to lay outside on the Spartans. Out to center ice. Back to the Glenbrook North blue line. Marute had it caught up in his skates a little bit. Picked up by Dwyer, who dumps it into the zone. Back behind the net, Kaluzna. Kaluzna to the near side. Dave Kaluzna sets it up to the far side, and Masurlian. John Masurlian into the zone. John Masurlian now knocked away by Skoglund. Skoglund and Masurlian in the corner. To the side of the net and grabbed and held on by Weeks as John Breen tried to sweep it towards the goal.
Going back to what you were saying earlier, I don't think the steam is running out. Just the fact that Weeks is taking everything out of Glenbrook North, and every shot that comes on, Weeks is making the save on them. And apparently Glenbrook North has just got to find the back of the net somehow, some way, or get something past them. But Weeks is just doing a superior job being able to get something, including that last flurry before. Just a minute ago, he's diving to his right, diving to his left. It seems like he knows where that puck is at every instant. So he's going to get something on it, whether it be his stick, his glove, or his body on the puck.
The faceoff is controlled by Loyola. Out ahead, here's Kozin. Kozin one-on-one. Kozin tried to sweep by Lifschultz, didn't do so. Kozin and Lifschultz to the corner. Now Stock back behind the net. Stock with Kozin, near side. And they push it along in the corner. A full house tonight at Northbrook, which got to be about 800, 900. Here's Brash. The shot ran into a leg. That ran into Bakai, and he stung a little bit. Back around to the near side. Ramblers setting up the play. 10 minutes or so, 10 and a half left to play here in the third period. Near side, and here's Bodvinik. Bodvinik to the far side. Bakai. Bakai into the zone. Aaron Bakai takes the shallow angle shot wide. Near side. Bakai again. Bakai to the high slot. Cranks it, just shot the save on the deflection. They got a penalty coming up on Kevin Davis, I believe, for interference on Ryan Kickle.
Yeah, that might have been the best opportunity for Glenbrook North. They set themselves up perfectly. Kickle had a nice opportunity to tap it past Weeks, catch him on the offside, and they had the opportunity, but with the interference and Kickle not getting the exact amount of stick on the puck, really lost the chance to get that goal.
Oh, I'll say this, too, that there are good penalties and there are dumb penalties, and that is a good penalty that Davis had because Davis was making sure that Kickle knew someone was behind him, and when Kickle was in that tight, wants to make sure that Kickle didn't get the shot away, and he took Kickle out of the play very nicely. That's a good penalty. Now the face-off. Near side, out to the slot, cleared all the way out, all the way down. Mike Brown was the forechecker ahead. Kickle gave it back over here near side. Here's John Breen. Breen down, he goes on Brown, near side. Now it's Masurlian into the zone. Masurlian shot, the save pulled out of the air by Weeks.
Weeks is just unbelievable. He gets himself extended out so well, takes the angle down, and he is just stretched out more like a Stretch Armstrong doll. But he made an excellent grab on that one.
Minute 38 left on the minor. Faceoff is coming up inside the Loyola end on the sensational save by Weeks on the cranking shot. Now we're set for the faceoff, and we're ready to go. Pair of 27s. Masurlian back to Breen at the point. Breen shot right through Fisher. He wasn't ready for the puck. Didn't have a stick down. Fisher on the far side. Now out. Breen won't catch it before it clears out the center ice. John Breen retreats to his own blue line. John Breen brings it up the ice. Breen into the zone. Breen backhands. Shot it wide. Back behind the net. Now wrap around. Second shot. Goal!
You know, if you can't get it on the wraparound, all you got to do is have Michelin right there in the slot to put it right past Leak on that off-net side. I mentioned earlier you got to catch him where he isn't at. And that's certainly what it worked out well for Glenbrook North.
Well, what happened was the wraparound came off the pads right into the slot, and Masurlian was there to put it home, and it's 2-1. 2-1 the score now on the goal by John Masurlian with the assist to John Breen. Near side, Bobby back into the zone. Kaluzna, far side. Oh, did Kaluzna get wrapped up by Skoglund? Bakai, rather, by Skoglund. Oh, man.
That's one for the highlight films.
You got it. Wolleman into the zone. Matt Wolleman to the corner. Here's Zaire. The shot goes up into the slot. Ricochets around a little bit. Flip to the near side. Lutweiler out to center ice. Bodvinik and Kozin. Near side. Now over to Bakai. Bakai didn't get it in the zone. Picked up by Skoglund. Skoglund ahead for Lutweiler. Lutweiler into the zone. Lutweiler centered it. Christensen back around behind the net. Now picked up by Bakai. Out to the point. Kept in by Skoglund right to Marut. Marut with the backhander and the save. Out off Bodvinik. Bodvinik has it again. He and Lutweiler near side. So Lutweiler's injury was not game-ending. He was back on the ice, near side. Back now into the Loyola end. Picked up by John Dwyer. Dwyer centered all the way down. Touched by Lifschultz. Matt Stock. Stock has it back behind his own net. He sets up the play to the far side. Out to the point. Skoglund with the big cranker. The save. The puck free. Shallow angle shot. Now near side. Out for Skoglund. Held in the zone. Picked away. Here come the Spartans up ahead. Here's Fisher. Over-skated a little bit. Fisher ran right into Bobby. Centered. Nobody there but Skoglund. And he cleared it out to center ice. Matt Stock at the red line to the far side. The Surlian offside against Glenbrook North.
I don't know if you noticed this, but apparently right after Glenbrook North has gotten the goal, you can just tell how much the pace has picked up from one side of the ice to the other side. Both teams, trying to get another goal. Glenbrook North trying to equal the score, and Loyola trying to put Glenbrook North back down by 2 goals.
We have a little house cleaning to do in the corner. That's going to delay this face-off. Again, remember our next broadcast, the final broadcast of the regular schedule. Actually, we've got 2 final broadcasts. The junior varsity game, state championship from the stadium, and the North-South All-Star game. Kevin Davis ran it off a body, Masurlian, deep to the corner. Palmer bumped by Fisher. They push it along on the near side, on the far side, and now underneath Palmer, and the whistle stops play. Halfway through the third period. And yes, I don't want to jinx this. Should I mention?
I don't know. Don't put me on this side of it, but if you want to, go ahead.
No, I won't.
Okay, we'll hold it back then.
All right.
Save it for later.
Let's hold it for later if it happens. Mystical comments here, Rusty. Davis clears it out to center ice. Back goes Stock. Matt Stock, near side. And they push it along on the near side boards. And the whistle is the puck underneath Ryan Kickle. Stops the play. 7:03 to play in the period.
And unfortunately, as what we've seen throughout this tournament, I don't know, the scoreboard getting a little flashy over there. Seen an exciting game out here itself, trying to make it noticed.
There's a short circuit. Actually, all you have to do is make a little funny turn with the connection over there, and it goes away. Matt Palmer, far side, it's Brown. and right into the Loyola bench, and that stops it down.
You know, you can almost feel a little hush in the crowd. You're thinking something else is going to happen here. You get that feeling, and everybody getting very quiet.
We're set now. The face-off on the far side. Again, the 27s square it off. Bodvinik tried to dump it into the zone. Bounce off, leg it out to center ice. That's where Mike Brown has it, into the zone. Brown, Bakai. Aaron Bakai sets it up for Glenbrook North, back behind his own net. Bakai gave it up to Brown. No, Brown missed on the puck. Back the other way, Kickel. Kickel busted up by McCarthy. Over for Brown. Brown with Kaluzna. Mike Brown centered it. Busted away by Woloman. Matt Woloman the other way, up ahead for Bodvinik. Bodvinik into the zone. Bodvinik shoots. The save by Weeks. Into the corner. And some pushing and shoving in the corner. The puck squirts free on the near side board. Now back deep into the corner. Ryan Kickel tried to find Bakai, far side. Down went McCarthy. Hand pass, Kaluzna. He controlled it, washed it off. Now there's the backhand shot by Bodvinik and cleared out the center ice and down into the end. That'll be icing against the Ramblers. You know, Bodvinik, they've been trying those cherry picks all game long. This time, the first time tonight that it's worked for Glenbrook North, and got it in. And then when the time came to really take the shot, he took a only semi-tough shot there on the part of Bodvinik. Looking to rise it. There's a shot to save. Maserlian turnaround shot. Oh, just wide on as Weeks was down on the ice. Near side. Out ahead for McHugh. Now Dave Lifschultz. Lifschultz into the near side. Lifschultz clears it ahead, intended for Maserlian on the cherry pick. McHugh. Rich McHugh back the other way. McHugh. Breen up ahead for Fisher. Now Breen again up ahead, and Maserlian one-on-one. Maserlian around the mat. Maserlian shoots and scores! We're tied at 2.
That has got to be one of the sweetest moves that I have seen in a long time. Maserlian skated it right through one of the defenders of Loyola and even made a move on Weeks and got help from the near post to get it into the net. What a sweet goal.
We're tied at 2 at the quarterfinals. .5:25 to play here in the third period.
For some reason, I said there was a hush over this crowd. Something was going to happen. And, you know, these Spartan fans and these Spartan players have a lot of heart in themselves. And, you know, you want to give that gift. If we're talking to Coach Miller, give him the gift, being this is his last season. I'm sure the players must have had that in their minds going into this period.
Well, the Ramblers take their timeout. We have a chance here to talk. This game is, I don't know that it's necessarily had ups and downs. It's had some back and forth, kind of sloppy play and things like that in this one. And I think right now, we look at this one and how do you call it? You know, this is really going to be a game of last mistake, I think.
Well, you might want to look last mistake, but you got to look at what the momentum has shifted. I mean, basically Weeks is the one that's been making all the saves. My tally count is up to 31. He's been making all the saves, and actually in the last 5 minutes we've seen 2 goals from Iserland, and they weren't, you know, the type of goals that a goalie makes mistakes. Those are goals in which the player makes the move and beats the goalie.
Well, I think also what DJ LeVar wanted to talk to his players about was letting them get that cherry pick. They're not pulling back enough to stop the players up till that time, up to these last 2 goals. They were doing a great job of preventing that cherry pick. We have a whistle and an offside, I believe. Yes, offside. But I think that was what was going on for the first 2 periods. Plus, Loyola was doing a great job of smelling out that cherry pick move and sending those 2 defensemen deep enough that they were stopping that move. Now they're not doing that. They haven't done it on those last 2 goals, and it's cost them both times. Kaluzna to the far side, the Lutweiler back around behind the net, brought to the near side. Wildeman near side and cleared out the center ice. Out ahead, here's a 2-on-1. Mackay busted up by Bobby. Up ahead for Brash, Danny Brash. Into the zone, Brash and Kaluzna. Brash dribbles it into the corner. Kozin has it there. Kozin now back out to the point and cleared, and that will be icing, and it is icing.
You know, that situation you talked about earlier, you had to bring it up, and certainly it's coming into play. And, of course, we didn't mention what it was. It's a good possibility.
We got 4 minutes, 4.5 minutes to go. I'm not, Rusty, don't even start with me, Rusty. Don't even start with me, Rusty.
The only reason I say that,
I've already been in the rink for better than 12 hours. Don't even start with me, Rusty.
The only reason I say that just because over the last couple of years I've been with you for a couple of them.
All the way down, and that's icing against Glenbrook North, and we'll take it back down and do it all over again.
Yeah, the last couple of years I've been joining you.
That's right, the state games, the 2 state games.
We always seem to find out, where the extra period comes into play, and if it's not you, maybe it's me, because I come out here to bring out the best games, at the best time of the year.
I don't know what it is. It seems that every time I have a color commentator, I get into these things. Maybe that's what it is. Cleared out the center ice, picked up there by Andy Skoglund. Now Breen, McHugh, near side Maroot. Maroot fed it ahead. Now here's a breakaway. Shot to goal! Rich McHugh with the goal!
Give a lot of credit. I don't know who it was that took out 2 Glenbrook North players at one time that set up the breakaway from McHugh from the blue line, and was just him and
that was Maroot, Ed Maroot.
Maroot set it up, and then McHugh just took it on in, made the move on Christensen and put it right between the pads for the goal, and it's a 1-goal lead for Loyola with 4:07 left.
(3-2) the score now. Ramblers have come back to take the lead again. They draw. Bodvinik backhands it into the zone. Skoglund out to the point. Here's Lutweiler, 3-on-2 if they hurry it. Lutweiler into the zone. Now shot just a little wide over here on the near side. Right into the slot. Nobody there for the Ramblers. Over to the far side, Mackay. Mackay brings it up the ice. Mackay into the zone. Mackay back behind the net. Into the slot. Into the corner. Out to the point. Now picked up by Lutweiler. Wraps it around the boards. Brought to the near side. Bodvinik. Back to the far side, and Skoglund. Near side, Gustafson. Gustafson out to the red line. Now picked up by Lou. I don't know. Didn't get it. Flipped down into the net zone. Breen will chase it down for Glenbrook North. Deep to this corner. And cleared out to the red line. Lifschultz to the far side. Fisher. Back out Maroot. Ed Maroot. Centered. McHugh turns. Couldn't get the shot away. Now McHugh has it again out to the point. Held in by Gustafson. There's the shot. Ricochet shot. Saved by Christensen as Dwyer got the rebound.
Christensen was in the right spot at the right time, shifting himself to that far post. Dwyer right there to just take the easy shot to put in the net, but Christensen, a great job to pick it up, and now a timeout taken.
Now Loyola going to take their, Glenbrook North rather, going to take their timeout. That's right, Loyola already took theirs. Glenbrook North will take their timeout to set up the 2 minutes and 32 seconds left here in the third period.
Now Miller's got a decision to make within somewhere 2.5 minutes. If you're trailing by a goal, you don't get anything within the next minute and a half. Do you pull the goalie at 1 minute and take the chance of possibly getting yourself an extra attacker on the ice, or give up the game? That's a big chance to take in a big game like this.
Well, I think he'll pull the goalie. The question is, at the minute mount, or maybe even a little tighter than that into the period.
The fans that are here in contingent of Glenbrook North trying to root them on.
Well, what the Glenbrook North fans are over here closer to us than are the Loyola fans. I have heard the Loyola fans in my ear cheering, but they're further away over in the corner, standing up down in the corner. They like to stand down in that corner to razz the opposing goalie a little bit.
You know, the interesting thing is, they never take a seat down there. It's like standing room only.
Well, that's like us. We haven't taken a seat here either. Oh, my aching back. 2:32 to play in the period. And now Glenbrook North ready. They took a little extra time to the linesman went over and told them to get their tails back out there on the ice. 2:32 to play, 3-2 the score.
Both teams making some line changes, and referees are actually letting them do that.
The one last line change. Now the face-off. Now Danny Brash having a few extra words there. Brash and Kickle will do the face-off honors. Kickle won the draw. Wolleben bounces to the near side. McCarthy put his head down. Ramblers control near side. McCarthy and Wolleben. Now Lutweiler into the slot. Brash couldn't get the shot away. Held into zone by Bobby. Lifschultz. Near side. Zaire off a leg. Cleared out the center ice. Lifschultz. Far side. Bakai offside.
Looked like Zaire was the one that was caught in the zone and couldn't get himself out of there in time, and offsides was called.
2:02 to play here in the period. Face-off going to take place just outside the zone following the offside. This is the Metro Chicago Sports Network quarterfinal action between the Ramblers and the Glenbrook North Spartans. This game also on Channel 5 as the highlights on Channel 5. Alan Zaire over to the far side, prep watch. We think Brad Hoken at Channel 5. Dave Lifschultz. Near side, Ryan Kickle. Kickle dumped it into the zone. Back behind the goal line, tripped Bobby. Bobby takes it to the far side, out for Wolleben. Wolleben knocked down by Brash. Brash tried to skate it out of the zone, held in. Bakai now picked up by McHugh. Down to a minute and a half or so left to play in the period. Wolleben shot, ran into traffic, pulled away. Here's McHugh. McHugh on the breakaway. McHugh and the end shoots. Oh, and the save by Christensen and a dribbled wide. Back behind the net. Wrap around. Took it too soon. Out and cleared to the red line. Gustafson, 1 minute to play in the period. Near side, here's Kickle. Into the zone. Ryan Kickle tried to split the defense. Back around behind the net. Dwyer. They pull the goalie for the extra attackers. Marut comes up with the puck. Open net. Got it. And scores.
I didn't mean to cut in. I was just making a point. Christensen was going to the bench. Maybe at the wrong time. And a great move by Maru, beating out one of the defenders of Glenbrook North, and that might have just sealed it for the Ramblers. Also one thing to add, during that flurry that was down here about 30 to 40 seconds ago, Christensen was looking over to the bench saying, should I come over or not? And he wanted to go, but the coach said, no, stay in there. And that was before the last flurry. That might have been the goal there if he would have come back in there.
Ed Marut from John Dwyer. 43 seconds left to play in the period. Now picked up by Skoglund. Open net off the post. Dwyer off the side of the net. In and scores! Ed Maroot.
And now you get to see all the fans file out of here very quickly for Glenbrook North.
Well, you know, the sad part is that you'll look in the paper tomorrow and you'll see the score of 5-2, and it's really not indicative when you consider that really the score was 3-2 with the 2 open nets.
Exactly, everybody will look it up and they'll say, okay, how did Glenbrook North lose it? And they'll see that 5-2 margin. I mean, these two teams have got to be one of the best teams I've seen play a great hockey game. I mean, no mistakes, not many mistakes out of there. All pretty good goals outside of the open nets. Good breakaway type goals.
We're set for the face-off. Now back to the blue line. Picked up by McCarthy and Davis. Davis dumped it down the gangway back in the Glenbrook North end.
Got to give a lot of credit to Andy Weeks. 31 saves I have him for unofficially, and he really kept Glenbrook North off the scoreboard for about 2 periods until the 3rd period. Until a couple of outstanding moves by Miserlin. One off a rebound and the other off a breakaway.
Yeah. 28 seconds left to play in the 3rd period. 5-2 now in favor of the Ramblers. Bodvinik into the zone, picked up by Palmer. Palmer cleared it to the near side, out and cleared. Back goes John Breen. John Breen, near side. The shot and the save. McCarthy out to Lifschultz. And that'll do it.
Celebration not only on top of Weeks, had a great job he's done the entire game, but also took the goal with it.
The final score, the Loyola Ramblers 5 and the Glenbrook North Spartans 2. Super hockey game. Hope you enjoyed our broadcast. This broadcast brought to you on the Broadcasting Rights Random. Thanks very much to Rusty Silver, the Waukegan News Sun. And we say until our next game, so long, everybody.